I'm Dan Snow. Welcome to Voices of the First World War. In the years leading up to the centenary of the war, the last of those who actually experienced it have passed away. But the Imperial War Museums and the BBC had recorded interviews with many veterans to try to capture what it was like to actually be there. This series listens to those stories.
We marched to Ypres, but whether it was from... Oh, no, I had a bus journey. They took us by bus from Saint-Omer to Zonnebeke.
And they were London buses?
They were London buses. Open tops.
Had they been painted, or were they...
No, they hadn't been camouflaged in any way, no. Because I well remember, I thought, oh, I'll go to the top. And, I had the opportunity of going upstairs, and I went right to the top and thought how lovely it would be to see France from the top. And I went right to the front, and another chap came with me, and I thought, oh, look who we are. Until it was several hours' journey, and it began to rain, and it poured in torrents, and I got absolutely wet through.
In September 1914, Ypres was an obscure but prosperous medieval Belgian town which had thrived for centuries off the wool trade. Yet within months, it and its surrounding area had been terribly damaged. Ypres was at the epicentre of some of the most vicious fighting on the Western Front, and would remain so for 4 years to come.
I remember marching right through Ypres from the bus.
Private Laurie Field.
And as we marched through, the cloth hall was intact, hadn't been touched. Now, the cloth hall was the beauty spot of Ypres.
In August and September, the Germans had lunged at Paris in pursuit of a quick victory. That failed. Both sides raced north, trying to get clear of the other. The British reached the coast around Ypres first. The Germans desperately tried to drive them back and secure other channel ports like Dunkirk, Calais and Boulogne. The British outside Ypres took up positions astride the road to Menin, which ran east out of the city.
We were standing by in this wood on the side of the road.
Trooper George Jameson of the Northumberland Hussars.
We didn't know what we were going to do or what we were going to have to do, simply waiting there. That was an awful lot of war, waiting. And while we were in there, of course, the Germans were shelling all around the place, and there was a lot of shrapnel flying around. And we were sort of dodging and hiding behind trees and trying to take cover, and we were wondering what was going to happen next.
They knew far more in England what was happening than we did.
So you had no idea that the Battle of Ypres was about to break out?
No, or anything like that.
He said, you're going to take part, he said, in the most important battle, he said, of the war.
Private William Holbrook of the Royal Fusiliers. Holbrook remembers Sir John French, the commander of the British Expeditionary Force, visiting his unit to boost their morale.
He said, and in a few days, he said, you'll be following up a beaten enemy. That was his words. Well, I thought about it since then. Beaten enemy.
They were shelling us like nobody's business. Gallivelt was decimated, and then Hooge was getting it. Hooge had been taken over by the divisional people as a headquarters.
We made the attack from Zonnebeke towards Passchendaele. Advanced 1,000 yards under shell fire with my own particular platoon, and only had 2 men hit.
Sergeant Thomas Painting of the King's Royal Rifle Corps.
And having done that, I'd got to go across 200 yards of open ground. Well, we formed up there, we advanced over this open ground, and Jerry opened fire on us with a machine gun and everything he could turn out. And in my own particular platoon, which was 50 men, only 17 of us got across. The others were dead. We were all killed in that 200 yards, killed and wounded.
One of these fellows asked me for a light, and I struck a match and held it out to him, and as I held that out to him, he just dropped. And that was about the first thing I can recollect of anybody suddenly passing out of existence. really the first experience of being scared stiff, wondering when I'd cop it next, and seeing other people being hit, being close to the sharp end of the job, so to speak. One very quickly developed the sort of feeling, well, this is war. It can happen to anybody. Thank God it hasn't been me. And that was about all.
It's quite realistic, hasn't it?